I like to picture David the shepherd at the end of a day finishing with the sheep, and they're all down, the hard work is over, and David then leans back, and for the first time in his busy day as a shepherd, he relaxes. And he looks up at the sky, and he sees God. Isn't that the wonderful thing about the beginning of this psalm? Yes, we see the beauty of nature in all these things, but the psalmist, David himself, actually sees God in the midst of this, in all of the balls of gas that are stars and supernova and constellations, in all of the twisting and turning of the earth's rotation and everything that is going on above him. What he sees is God himself. That's an interesting thing that we need to recognize. It's so easy to see the science of the world around us, but to see God orchestrating the science, to see God lovingly crafting this world, this cosmos for you and for me, that's a talent that we need to produce. You already saw in the video a bit about the first 6 verses of this psalm. I'd like to let you know a little bit about what happens after that. In verse 7, it seems to you and me maybe like a transition, a huge break from what's gone on beforehand. He says, the law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. He's just been talking about creation. Why now to talk about Scripture? I think it's because while creation actually declares God, Scripture instructs us about God. It tells us so much more detail, so much more about how to please God, how to know God, how to experience God's love and His compassion, that the universe, however wonderful and majestic it may be, doesn't do for you and me. That's the second part. It goes right down to the 14th verse. And so we begin with the cosmos declaring God, and it takes talent to see that. But then take notice as you read through and as you discuss the psalm with your group, take notice how then Scripture instructs us. And that's also God's gift. It's also incredible, beautiful, sweeter than honey, wonderful to us. And then the last thing is in verse 14. It says, may these words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Again, how does this match up with everything? It's because my submission actually invites God. Scripture may instruct us about who God is, but only our submission actually invites God in and makes a place for God to take up His home within you and with me. And so this psalm runs the gamut of how you and I can look up in the sky and see God, how we can look in His Word and see God in His instructions, and how we can actually raise a white flag of surrender in our hearts and experience God in a new way. I hope that helps you in your reading of the psalm and in your discussion. God bless you.